Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel of Dave and Dave. Today I'm going to be talking about 10 reasons why you should become a pilot. Now, before I get this video started, I'd like to mention that me and my friend Dave, obviously we share the channel together. This year we're going to be doing videos together a lot more than we did last year. Now, this year we're going to be doing a lot more gaming videos, we're going to be doing more vlogs together, so that could hopefully overall make the videos more enjoyable to watch. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on with the video. So my first reason why you should become a pilot is the fact that you get to meet so many new people on a daily basis. Now, pilots will do many flights per day. It depends what airline you work for, obviously. If you're working for a budget airline, Europe, you may be doing lots of flights a day. You may be doing anywhere between 2 to 6 flights per day. And when you do these amount of flights, per flight, if you have the Boeing 737 for instance, you'll be able to fit 189 passengers on board that flight. Now if you times that by 6, that is a lot of passengers. So per day, you'll get to meet new passengers, new cabin crew, and new first officers or captains. So if you're the first officer, obviously you meet the captain. But it also depends on which airline you work for, obviously. The more routes the airline actually flies to, the more people you'll meet. This is simply because of the fact that they will have more pilots and cabin crew. Therefore, you'll meet many new pilots and cabin crew per day. And it'll just be great to meet new people. Not only does it benefit you, it also benefits other people as well, because you can give them some information they might not know, for instance. So, for instance, they may not know about how the aircraft works. So, if you see a passenger and obviously they come into the cockpit at the end of the flight, or go into the cockpit at the start of the flight to meet you and your other crew, then they will be asking you some questions. Now, obviously it's important you answer those questions, and when you answer those questions, you will actually give the passenger a better understanding of how the aviation world actually works. So not only does it benefit you, it benefits other people. It benefits you because your communication skills will improve, and your social skills will improve as well, therefore resulting in you being happier, because you're meeting new people, and it's always good to meet new people. The second reason why you should become a pilot is the fantastic things you get to see on a daily basis. Now, when you're a pilot, when you're flying, you get to see some fantastic things. Depends obviously which airline you work for, because obviously other airlines are different from others, but the airlines that work with so many routes, it's fantastic, because every day you get to see something new. You'll be able to see things like the Mediterranean Sea, you'll be able to see things such as the mountains, so for instance, you might be able to see mountains over France, you might also be able to see beaches, you might also even be able to see some nature as well in the outside world, and you'll just see loads of amazing things every day. You can even see cities as well, so that could also be a great thing to see, because you can see how the cities work, and you kind of just see like the structure of things. You can see the landscape, and you can even see things such as the sunsets, the sunrises, and the beautiful blue sky. So that's another great reason why you should become a pilot. And as my third point, I'd like to talk about your salary. So when you're a pilot, and this is after a couple of years, unfortunately, you will get a lot of money working as this job per year. Now, it's so much better than most jobs out there, and the good news is you won't actually have to get that much before you can actually start becoming a pilot. Obviously you have to complete the training, but in terms of school, you don't actually need to get a lot from school. You don't need to get A levels in lots of subjects. You just need physics, maths, really, to be honest, at school. So that's another great thing. Your salary is definitely worth it. Now, obviously, it will be later on where you get a better salary, but the good news is that you have something to work towards. When you start off as a first officer, you can get paid a reasonable amount of money, but when you build up to the captain level, you can get anything up to approximately 200,000 euros in some airlines. Well, that is a fantastic amount of money to earn each year, and I just can't believe that you can physically earn that much from this job. Now, obviously, it is a very professional job. You have to be very good at it, but it's definitely worth it. And the good news is that when you work to get this money, you're also enjoying your job on the side as well a bit. So it's actually kind of like a hobby, but you're actually getting paid for it. It is a fantastic thing to do, and when you do get this amount of money each year, you also won't actually be working too long either. Now, obviously, you'll be doing other things such as paperwork, but the actual flying amount of time per week, a pilot would have to fly approximately 18 hours. That may seem like a fair amount to you, but trust me, many jobs out there, you'll have to work potentially up to 30-hour weeks or 40-hour weeks. With a pilot, you won't have to do that. Which brings me on to my next point, obviously. So my next reason why I should become a pilot is because of the fantastic amount of time you actually get flying. It's a great amount of time to fly, because the thing is that you're not flying too much, but you're not flying too little at the same time. You're sort of flying in the middle, so you're having a lot of enjoyment, but at the same time it's not too much for you, if that makes sense. Now, when you're actually flying, most airlines would do this roster pattern where you have 5 days on and 4 days off. So this means that you have 5 days working, obviously flying, and you have 4 days off to spend at home with your family, which is great, because you get to see your family very often. And some airlines they're very flexible with the roster patterns. I know for a fact that one airline has to give you 14 days notice, or 7 to 14 days of notice before doing a night flight. So you may be put off by the fact that you have to fly long hours, but if you're flying at a time of night, most airlines would have to give you a certain amount of time of notice before you get to actually fly at night. So they have to give you 7 to 14 days of notice before you get to do night flights, which would mean that you have enough time to change your pattern of sleeping, so you can obviously be fully focused when doing night flights, so you won't be too tired, which therefore result in you being a better pilot and having more confidence. So that's that, roster patterns, reason 4 why you should become a pilot. Now, my next great point about becoming a pilot is that the amount of routes you'll work on is fantastic. Most airlines will have lots of routes that the airline actually flies. You could be flying to various destinations all around the world. Now, I know earlier when I said about the things you get to see outside, but when you fly to a destination, you can actually spend your time out there. So, for instance, if you had 5 days on, 4 days off, you're coming towards the end of your shift, and this is your last day of work. If you flew to a location in Europe, and obviously you'll have to stay in a hotel for a couple of nights, or you have to stay in a hotel for a night before you can actually fly back, you can actually spend some time in that place. You can spend some time looking around the place, and you can spend some time just enjoying that place, so it feels like a holiday as well. So you're actually going to be on holiday a lot, because obviously when you're flying, it makes you feel like you're on holiday, and you probably are actually going to be on a holiday sometime in the year when you're doing your flying job. So yeah, that is a fantastic thing, and that also results in you can be meeting more new people along the way on your holidays, because not only will you meet new people, like I said earlier about meeting new people, you'll also meet new people on holiday, which is another absolutely fantastic thing. Okay, so point number 6, my next point. So I'm going to be talking about now about how much you're actually going to learn, because in this job you're going to be learning so much. When you start off, before you become a pilot, or you in the process of becoming a pilot, you can be selected for a cadet program. Now, the cadet program is very good, because with the cadet programs that airlines offer, you will learn just an incredible amount in the amount of time you'll have as a cadet, because you'll just learn what everything does in the aircraft. You'll learn all the functions a lot better than what you originally knew, and obviously you're going to be taught by a professional pilot, and you're going to be there with the pilot actually flying. It's absolutely awesome to learn, because you then realise that what you did in the sim might not be as accurate as what you actually have to do. And trust me, it's an absolutely great feeling when you know that when you know what functions things do, so you can get a lot more of an understanding of how it actually works, aviation world. So when you're in your initial part of doing the cadet program, you'll be learning so much that you actually would you would probably think that it would be a lot easier to pass the test that the airlines or the training throws at you, and you'll understand everything a lot better than what you originally knew. So therefore, resulting you getting a lot better confidence in yourself. You have a lot more confidence, and it will just be so much more enjoyable to do. Now, my next reason number 7, is about the fact that you can get discounts for family or friends wanting to travel with the airline you work for. Now, this sounds absolutely great, and it really is, because with some airlines you can actually get discounts for your family members or friends to go on the flight with you. And not only is it a discount, and not only is it a lot better because they'll get to save lots of money whilst going on holiday, they will potentially get to see you as a pilot flying, and that's just a great moment you can spend with your family. It's a great memory. So that is also another great thing. You get to get discounts for your family, friends, and it can just make their trip a lot more enjoyable as well as yours. Okay guys, so my 8th point about becoming a pilot as well is that, obviously to talk earlier about the cadet program, how much you'll learn so much, is also the fact that you are the person in control. You're in control of this aircraft, and it's just an incredible feeling, because when you're in control of the aircraft, you're in control of the landings, you're in control of the takeoff, you're in control of all of the flight. Obviously it does depend on who's flying, who's the pilot's flying, but the pilot who is flying is in control of everything. Now what this means is, for you, this means that you can feel like you've accomplished something when you've done something great in the job. Therefore you can kind of award yourself whenever you do a good job. So that's another great thing. You can award yourself. So it's kind of like at home, for instance. So once you do a good job as a pilot, you fly the aircraft and you perform good flying, you could perhaps award yourself with something like going out somewhere, just to make that job. That just makes it a little bit extra enjoyable. And that's what you can experience when you become a pilot. There's so much to experience in the aviation world. Okay guys, so my 9th point about becoming a pilot as well is that new aircraft will become available as time goes on. So for instance, many airlines, many European airlines have ordered aircraft such as the Airbus A321neo or the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. I know that's grounded at the moment, but that is in the process of being recertified. Now, once they are recertified, or once MAX is recertified, once those pilots actually fly the aircraft, it's something a bit different, and it's something that's always changing. It's always something different in the aviation world, which improves it as a whole. So airlines will probably like to keep costs down, and in order to do this, they need to invest into more efficient aircraft. Obviously, the MAX is an efficient aircraft, and the Airbus A321neo. Also, when they invest in these new aircraft as well, they will need to do it relatively frequently. So after approximately 20 years, they will need to invest into a new aircraft, which can replace their older aircrafts that need to be retired. Now, once they replace these aircraft, you will then be able to fly something different. And when you fly something different, that increases the amount of love you have for that job. And it's interesting because when you're in the aviation world, you can change aircraft types by obviously a type rating, so you can try and go for another aircraft type. So for instance, if you're flying the Boeing 737-800, you could potentially move over to the Airbus A321, although personally I wouldn't do that, because obviously I'm a massive Boeing fan. I enjoy flying the Boeing aircraft the most. And yeah, it's another great thing about the job. You can just it always changes up, and it just makes it that little bit extra. So guys, bringing on to my last point. My last and final point is that you can teach future pilots how to fly. So when you get to your initial final part of flying, and you're the captain, fully fledged captain, and you can potentially turn into a trainee or instructor, then you can teach future pilots how to fly. And I can't tell you, that is another incredible thing. You get to teach new pilots, and it's a great feeling afterwards, because once you've actually taught those new pilots, you will then just love the job even more, because you know you was there one time, you get some memories, and it's kind of a nice feeling, of enjoyment. And once you teach these new pilots, they can then be ready for the aviation world as well. and it's like a cycle like that, and it's just an incredible cycle. And it's something that I think is not just a job. I feel like it's something that becoming a pilot is obviously, it requires commitment, it requires energy, focus, and it also, most importantly, requires drive, enthusiasm, and it's something that is definitely possible to achieve. And it's a hobby mixed with a job at the same time, and it's not just a job. You have other people's lives at hand, but that makes it makes you more confident as a person. It can improve your confidence, your social skills, communication skills, and it could just improve you as a person. Thank you all for taking the time to look at my channel, for looking at all my videos, and I really do appreciate it. And I hope you can watch my future videos in the future. If you like this video, please smash the like button. If you didn't like this video, you're more than welcome to dislike it. However, I would like some constructive criticism in order to tell me what I can do to improve further in the future. And if you obviously have found this channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when future videos are coming out. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace, guys!